Hi, my name is Chris Morosco, and I'm going to talk about data protection and how it relates to the cloud. A company's data is really one of two things. It's either the intellectual property, the crown jewels of the company, the thing that has to be protected, or it's a kind of toxic thing that can potentially be dangerous because it has customer data or things that they need to protect and keep from getting out of the internet. And this is becoming more and more of a challenge because the proliferation of SaaS applications, the use of public clouds is really changing where this data resides. It's now all over the place. It's in different SaaS applications, it's in multiple public cloud applications, multiple public cloud environments, and so this is causing some challenges. So how do you ensure all your data is protected across all these different environments? So there's a few different key pieces. One of them is knowing what data is where and being able to classify that through DLP. And so being able to look in SaaS applications, being able to look in storage buckets of public cloud deployments, being able to look at that data and say, what is that data that I actually have within these environments? And using machine learning and pattern matching to be able to understand what this data is, and then be able to look at how is that data being exposed based on that, because you have to look at it from a context perspective. Is this something that should be exposed, or is it something that shouldn't be exposed? So being able to understand that is key and first and foremost. It's the visibility and classification function. The next is, how are these applications being accessed and by who? And so could be people using these sanctioned SaaS applications. They could also be going to unsanctioned SaaS applications and actually sharing data as well. So being able to control not just the visibility of what's happening in the applications themselves and what is being exposed in those environments, but control the way the users are actually using SaaS applications. And that's to some extent true as well as how they're actually using public cloud applications, how they're accessing these storage containers, how those storage containers are exposed. So that's the visibility part. The second part of it is, how do I then define policies to be able to control this? And so it's critical to be able to define policies for both your SaaS applications and your public cloud storage to be able to say, these are the acceptable types of data that can be exposed, and these are the ways that they can be exposed. And once you've defined that and set that policy, and set the policy on how users can actually access applications, which ones they can't, which ones they can, and be able to actually control their usage so that if they're trying to go to some applications, you can actually control the usage of them so that they only use certain capabilities, they're only allowed to upload to some apps versus others, and be able to do that restriction and then do the same within here as well, so that we don't have one company accidentally sharing with another company or exposing data, maybe customer data, to the internet. So what do we do at Palo Alto Networks to be able to solve this? So we've newly announced Prisma. Prisma does two key things. It goes into SaaS applications themselves to be able to discover the data, classify the data, understand in context how that data is exposed. It does the same for public cloud, to be able to look at that data, especially in storage buckets, be able to see how it's exposed, see what that data is, be able to use machine learning and DLP signatures to be able to look at that and then understand in context how it's being shared. It also sits in the middle of the connection between the users accessing these applications. So if a user is trying to use an unsanctioned SaaS application or a tolerated application or even a sanctioned SaaS application, Prisma is in line with that to be able to control their usage, control what they can do within that environment as well. And of course, you get reporting of everything that's happening within this environment through Prisma to be able to give you visibility into what's exposed, how it's exposed, what usage is like, how people are accessing these applications. And then you can automatically remediate. So even though everything may be great today, tomorrow something may change. A user may try to access something they're not supposed to. They may change a share within an environment. We may see a threat come in from an external source, which could potentially cause problems for the organization, for the cloud environment. Prisma will automatically remediate these problems to be able to prevent that data from being exposed or corrupted, to prevent business from being disrupted. So that's a quick look at what Prisma does for data protection. Go to the website to learn more.